Welcome to another episode of Starseed Activations. So we just want to say welcome, dear Jody Powers, for joining us today.
Hello, thanks for having me. Thank you, Star
Yes.
People, for being here, and thank you, Danielle, for doing this.
Excellent. Well, it's my pleasure and my honor to be here for each and every one of you guys. And it truly is my highest passion and my pleasure. So we just want to start off the channeling tonight by saying thank you so incredibly much, dear star people, for channeling tonight the information that is most in alignment with each individual watching. Thank you so incredibly much for always showing up for us. And thank you for helping humanity and guiding us throughout our entire evolution process, especially during these solar shifts and alignments and eclipses and all sorts of wild and amazing things that are going on. So we are going to start with an Om. Now, when we do an Om, what it actually does is it opens and expands the heart chakra, which allows our bodies to feel more love. The more and more we start to do this, it is going to put us in alignment with a higher frequency, which then shall allow for a higher frequency channeling to fully manifest. So, each one watching, we encourage you to take a deep breath in. One more deep breath in. Beautiful, dear ones. Excellent. Jody, would you like to start?
Oh, really? Good. Yeah, let's start.
Good.
So,
Doesn't it feel good? It
yeah, it
feels
does feel
like,
good.
right? It's like you could feel like
Yeah.
this love, bliss just wash over you. It's amazing.
And I also love that Teresa is already here and already talking with us. For anybody that doesn't know, Teresa is one of the star people that when Danielle's voice changes a little bit, that is her name. It's pretty clear when she comes in.
Yes. She is an Arcturian as well as she is with Tarek. And Tarek is also an Arcturian, and I'm very close with both of them.
Wonderful. So thank you. So tonight we're doing, well, it says gatekeepers into the higher frequency realms and attachments, right? And this is on page 96 of the book, which most of us, I think, know by now.
Yes.
That is the Ascension Guide that Danielle channeled. And page 96, let me just read this first part.
Sure.
In the physical reality, gatekeepers into the higher frequency ranges may be present in order to allow the primary individual a trigger into the density held inside their energetic grid structures. So is this kind of an explanation of our triggers are our trainers? That's where we're going tonight, right?
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay.
Your triggers are your trainers, but they are energetic beings which latch onto your field and they keep triggering a particular emotion code so that you may manifest into that emotion code, even if that emotion code be sadness, dear ones. The more and more you experience that emotion code, it shall eventually, in time, allow you to experience a neutrality. That neutrality is when you start overcoming that emotion. The more and more you can clear these dense emotions from off of your field, it shall then allow you to surpass that particular attachment name. Each attachment has a name, and their name is the emotion code that you are experiencing.
Yes, thank you. So this collective, the people that are watching right now, and may watch in the future, what is the biggest emotion code that we really should be working on right now, especially with all the things going on astrologically?
Well, we
Is there
have
one
something.
commonality for all of us?
We have experiential attachments, and each one of them, they vary, because having an experience is something as simple as, hopping out of bed and stubbing your toe. It could be something like a car accident. It could be something like you broke or you dropped a cup of coffee. You ever seen someone who does it and then like they do it over and over and over again? That's because there is always an attachment latched onto their field, and that attachment keeps triggering that experiential. Now, the more we start to recognize and identify what patterns do we have that is happening over and over and over again, it's actually going to allow us to start pinpointing, okay, well, what type of experience is it? I dropped my coffee. We discharge the attachment by telling each and every one of the attachments, get off and go home. We keep it very short and sweet. And so in the beginning of my journey, it causes harm and damage to them when we send them love and light. And when I was going through my attachment clearing, I kept saying, I love and bless you. Thank you for the experience. Not realizing, and it was like such a repetitive, I would say it every single time on accident, but it disintegrates the attachment because they are made of darkness, dark matter, and we are shining love and light. And that light, it can disintegrate them. And so these are conscious, sentient beings. We do take this very seriously. We don't want to cause them harm because they have families, they have pods. They're just kind of in like a bad situation right now, but that's okay too. And so when we clear them off of our field, it allows us to feel better, but we'll start to notice that our entire life will change and your body will feel like a clean, energetic feeling when you discharge enough of them.
Yes. Thank you. So it says these lower vibrational beings, and that's what you were just talking about, right? You said that they're actual beings. Okay. The lower vibrational beings then feed off of the emotional expression released into the individual's energetic grid complex.
Yes.
Can you explain the whole feeding off part?
Sure. Well, like I said, they're in a bad situation right now, and that's okay too. But they and they hop from person to person, but a lot of times they latch onto you and they don't let go. So what we actually have is what the star people call a star field. This star field is where the meridians and ley lines make the little X's. In the direct center is a vortex energetic. Inside these vortex energetics, you may consider it as a doorway. These doorways swing open, which then are triggered by an emotion code. That emotion code, once you trigger it, it shall allow for a vibrational alignment to form in that vortex, which allows any attachment with that name to latch on to your field in that location. This then, because it is part of your energetic grid complex, which is the whole field, it may trigger into your location ring or your civilization ring or your biological ring. This means that each and every attachment can trigger different experientials into your reality. This is very important because when we start to recognize the base emotions, those are always the easiest ones to clear because many human beings have experienced these lower emotion codes at some point or another. However, due to the nature of your television programming, each person who has ever watched, let's say, a horror movie has been automatically encoded with their star field to open those doors, allowing any of those attachments to generate an experiential. Some of them are witnessing attachments. A witnessing attachment means you are just there to manifest you witnessing that emotion code. Yes.
Wow, that was a lot. I have a million questions. processing all of that. I'm trying so hard to
take your time.
Understand it as you say it. But you said something about why that they are in a bad situation right now? Are they in a bad situation right now as compared to previously? Because we had talked about all the astrological events going on right now and the changes in the earth. Is that what you
Yes.
meant?
Yes. They are here in the 3D reality, but they are made of dark matter and they are not natural to this world. They don't belong here, but they're here. And they're here because there was a rift in the time space frequencies, which allowed them to portal through. There are different types of experiences that will also summon these things onto our planet. And so, just you got to use your imagination. We can bring them here, we can summon them, we release them. You have to be of a very light and bright heart to control them. And so what that means is, and I've had experiences, so I know that this is how it works, but you have to not like gain anything. You have to do it because you love the person. You have to be able to sit down and clear them, not because they're paying you all this money, but because you care about them. Makes sense? And so this is why when we come at that, it keeps your heart very open. Like every single person I interact with, I truly, I genuinely care about them. And so it allows me to start working with a higher light-based frequency, which allows these attachments to just like, they discharge very, very easily from the field. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So the converse is true, that there are dark energies, lower vibrational energies that kind of get in and change everything. So we, with the light and keeping our light, can do just as much. So which one are we going to focus on?
Yes.
The dark
Absolutely.
ones and not them not getting in, or just keeping the light and we will repel them?
Well, the truth
Kind of?
is that we truly want to be the master of both the darkness and the light. And we
Okay.
may have seen so many different star seeds and light workers go through the dark night of the soul. And then we had to go through an entire transformation to heal ourselves, to come inside, to accept who we were, to accept all the darkness that has happened to us, whether it doesn't matter whose fault it was or not. We still walk through that darkness to transmutate it all, to heal from it all, and really to help us to slingshot into the light realms. Now, the darker we go in this life, it allows us to raise in frequency to that degree in the light. So truly having the dark experiences is truly a blessing for each and every one of us, especially because of star seeds. We know that we dropped into families that had a lot of ancestral karma because we are here to help save humanity to some degree or another. Now, that includes even just doing the tiny things, dropping into a family and transmutating all of the darkness for that family. That's a gift in itself to the family because it allows the family lineage, the DNA of the family is going to evolve throughout this current solar energetic shift that we're heading for as an entire civilization. Yes.
Did you say solar energetic shift?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm always looking for clues.
I
Curious.
know you are. She listens in between all the words. She's like, give me the good stuff.
Yeah. So I am working on my patience, definitely. But I do look for curiosity clues.
That's
That is what I'm
okay.
going to call them from now on.
Well,
So-
we know scientifically speaking that the sun is doing something odd. And so we know that it's called a coronal mass ejection or a solar flare. And we know that we are expecting a very large one. There's a lot of ancient texts on the planet that have discussed this. The Mayan calendar signaled the turning of the ages, which was when it begins. And if you take a look at the sun, it used to be yellow when we were children. And now it looks more white in its color. And so we can tell just by that alone, when you look at a light bulb, if it's yellow and you turn it to white, that means you're raising the frequency of that light bulb. So that's what's happening to our sun. Now, it is no coincidence that we are going through an entire spiritual revolution right now, which is what I call it, because I see people waking up in droves right now. And that's because the sun is having an effect on the way we think. It is changing our perception, which grants access into more and more 5D frequencies. 5D, it's here already. You just have to raise your body's frequency and you have to shake off your fear. And when you do that, you start to see into 5D more and more each and every day. The way you're going to know that you're in 5D, or it's more like the beginning stages of being in 5D, is that your day is going to fly by very, very rapidly. You're going to be having as much fun as you thought possible, because you laugh all the time. And then all of a sudden, in time of holding that high frequency, you'll start to download even higher frequencies. This is where the saint code comes in, the saint frequency code. When we feel like a saint, we manifest that. But there's more than that, because the actual color spectrum changes. Everything looks a little bit more cartooned. And then you may start to see the flicker rate. Now, the flicker rate inside this world, we see everything as linear. The truth is that it's one picture with a picture behind it and a picture behind it, and it's flickering. Now, this process is controlled by your heart chakra. So the more happy and fun and excited that you can be, the more this flicker rate goes very fast, allowing you to instantaneously manifest whatever you need in the now moment. When you're very sad, the flicker rate goes slower, and then it's much more difficult to manifest things because there's a fear or sadness or a low frequency emotion. And this is where the attachments come into play, because when we start to remove the attachments and clear them off of our field, we start to see and sense this flicker rate. The more and more we start to do this, it allows us access into 5D. Yes.
I love that. So another way to say if we are sad or having a lower vibrational emotion, if we are consciously releasing it, like experiencing the sadness, but also consciously saying, I'm feeling really sad, but I am releasing this.
Yes.
Is that added element going to keep those attachments away just by looking at that emotion that way?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
So what we need to do is, we always tell the attachments, get off and go home, whatever their emotion name is. But then we have to also recognize we are the divine creator that triggered that emotion in the first place. And so this is where inner child healings comes into play, as well as neutralizing that emotion code. So if it's sadness, we want to always say to ourselves, it is okay for me to release the sadness now. Now, when you start to do energy work, like energetic casting or energy projection, you will start to see and sense the different energy grids in the body. The star people are always discussing the energetic grid structures. And what that is inside each one of the chakras, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and the crown chakra, we have an energy grid. These attachments latch on in different locations in the body and the ring system. The ring system is the energy grids overlaid into 3 different rings that broadcast out in the body. Now, the rings control your location and the civilization that you see. However, when we start to go inside and we start to feel the emotion code, where do you feel it inside of your body? Is it in your arm? Is it in your shoulder? And then go take it right to the computer and Google, okay, I'm in my shoulder. What emotion code is it? And it's in my shoulder. So where is it connected? What chakra is it in? For example, if you have something in the kidneys, they're in the sacral chakra. Okay, so there's different organs and body systems that are located. We can see this. Now, the more and more you start to do the energy work, you'll be able to feel it. And that is key, because if you can feel the emotion code, now forget about the low frequency emotion codes. How does your body feel to be happy? How does your body inside feel to be excited? You can feel the energy shift. If we take a biological stance, let's say we do, your arms on your head, or the Superman pose. So you raise your arms very high in the air. We know that it starts to shift all the hormones in the brain, the way we feel. We're releasing endorphins. We feel better because we moved our body for 2 minutes in one particular, state. Now, what happens when you just smile? for 2 minutes. You don't have to be happy. You can force a smile. It doesn't really matter. The fact is that your body is smiling and it's triggering a response so that your body is going to release the hormones to make you feel better. So what actually happened? We are using the body to trigger an emotion. When you start to do this more and more, it's going to allow you to feel the energy shifts inside. When you could feel the energy shifts, this is how each and every one of you, dear ones, are going to start the process of energetic casting. And energetic casting allows for you to do things like open a portal instantaneously. It will also allow you to feel the emotion code of whatever it is that you wish to experience, which then shall simultaneously manifest that into your reality. You must master all of the dark and you must master all of the light emotion codes. Each emotion code may also be an experiential. This means, how did that experience make you feel? When you think about that experience in quiet meditation, how does your body inside feel? You start to feel the energy grids inside, which shall then allow you to summon that emotion code and shall allow you to energetically cast that emotion code into a person, place, or thing. Beautiful.
Thank you again, Teresa.
Thank you, Teresa.
Yeah. So I read somewhere that the base feeling that we have is sadness. So if we're feeling anxiety, if we're feeling anger, if we're feeling all of that, underneath all of that is sadness. Is that true?
It's like fear. And so if we take a look at your actual body, and we take a look at how does the body respond when we are extremely excited or we're extremely fearful, your body responds the same exact way, which tells us the body does not know the difference between fear and excitement. Now, that's just a natural biological response. So that means that your consciousness is what truly identifies fear from excitement. Now, if you do become extremely fearful, let's say there's a spider in the room, we'll just take that as an example. Okay.
Valid.
You take that fear and you jump for joy and you turn it into excitement. And that's a way of transmutating that fear instantaneously. That's something that we can do. And it's very physically focused and everyone can get it. Now, yes, it may not be that easy if you have that type of fear to overcome it instantaneously, but we do baby steps. So this was one way that I got over some of my fears with the insect realm, was really by when I watch cute TikToks of the spiders. It's like, oh, he's so cute. I love him. And then it's like, ding, fear gone. Thank you. Yeah.
So now if there was a spider in the room right now, what would you do?
Well, I actually was put under that test. And this happened after we had discussed it on a live stream.
Oh no, we manifested the test.
Don't do it again. I instead of stomping on him, I put a cup and I took him out of the house. But he did it twice. The second one, he got in the vacuum, but then I emptied the vacuum outside, so he survived. It was a tiny vacuum.
Perfect.
So
perfect. Probably loved it in there.
If you would have seen me 6 months to a year ago, I would have stepped on the thing. But now it's, well, wait a second. They have emotions. So getting deeper into this, I actually had a spider the size of, I'm not even over exaggerating. This thing was like a golf ball. It was huge. And it walked into the center of my kitchen and I had jumped up and I pointed at it and I had screamed bloody murder. And the thing jumped up to like my knee, but it was across the room. Yeah, that's right. Well, in that moment, I started laughing because I realized, oh, he can't move. His heart's in his throat, right? I panicked, the poor baby. At that moment, all the fear in me had just left because I was like, I scared you. You
guys were sharing an emotion code.
Yeah, I had no idea the spiders get scared. Who knew? But
yeah, right.
We can see on different social media platforms that human beings have had relationships with every single insect. This one lady picked up a bumblebee that had its wings ripped off, and she nursed him back to life. And then she spent so much love and care. Like, the thing would like get all excited when she came around. I had a fish when I was a child. It was a beta fish. This thing lasted me like 10 years. And I was always over there sending love and light, talking to him. It was beautiful. So animals, they always told us that fish don't have memories. But the second I walked into the house, he knew I was there and he got excited every time. So when we take that to the insect and the animal realms, they feel a wide range of emotions that we are just finally becoming aware of. Now, once again, if we can feel into our energy grids and we can feel how does the emotion feel inside of your body, it's very similar to what the insects and the animals feel. This is how telepathy or telepathy starts between humans and animals. The emotions is always the thing that starts first. But then in time, we grow an energetic bond with our animals or insects that we love. And then that energetic bond allows for a form of two-way communication between you and that animal. In time, when more and more humans are energetically bonding with the animal, it shall then program the collective consciousness of that animal or insect. Once the collective consciousness has been programmed to a love-based emotion with human contact, it shall then allow for two-way telepathy to fully form in your reality for all beings. Yes. Beautiful.
Thank you again. So are we essentially programming ourselves right now by telling attachments to get off and go home, by sending love and light to ourselves and everyone else?
Yes.
That pretty much is programming.
And well, let me tell you, there's a lot of research on the subconscious mind as well. And the subconscious mind is basically your higher self. That's what you're talking to. The higher self remembers every single second that you spend in this reality and has 100% access to all of that memory. This is very, very important because when you start diving into any type of meditations, you start pulling at your memory grids, you can see everything. So programming the subconscious mind, one of the easiest ways to do it is while you're either in a trance, in a deep, deep meditation, when your zone of focus blanks out. So this really during television and movies. After the first like 5 minutes of the movie, step out by yourself to absorb the knowledge, the information. That's how we are designed to work. That's okay too. So think about maybe getting your own, let's say, a video, and in the video, nice background music that you want to play to go to sleep, and you speak on the video. Now you speak to yourself, your own, so that when you start, you can tell yourself things like, I am fully healed. I am fully abundant. I unconditional all people, places, and things outside of me. Start programming your stuff with things that you really want in your life as well. What do you guys want more of? At the end of the day, every single person here, we just want more love. We want to fit in, we want to be accepted, and we want to shine who we truly are inside without worrying about people making fun of us or guilt or shame or any of those toxic emotions. Take that and program your videos and listen to it every night for 30 days, right as you're going to sleep. Make it an hour video and just see what changes happen in your real waking life. Yes.
Wow, that sounds easy to do.
Yeah.
So Teresa Levine says, now I'm going to feel bad when I kill a tick. What do you do about that? Like, so then every time you kill a tick, right, that could kill your animals, like how do we reconcile that?
Well, I mean, it's difficult from a human perspective, but the truth is that in time we will have full telepathy and we will be able to command them off, but it is a manifestation. So what you would want to do, once again, start with the video. Ticks don't bother me or my animals. That's it. And start saying it over and over. Ticks, they don't go on me. They never go on me. I've walked in
I don't have to worry about ticks. On my
never
animals.
have to worry about ticks. They don't bite me. They stay away from me. It's just a manifestation. Is really, if you're in alignment to experience it, then you will experience it. But some people may get bit by a tick and they may not get sick. And that too is because you were in alignment to have the experience of being bit, but your body was strong enough to overcome it so that you didn't fall ill. Yeah.
Okay, so we have a question
Sure.
that came in, and I think that we can, it's not even that much of a segue. So the person asked, what is a void?
Okay.
And can voids exist in our chakra system?
Yes.
And that's kind of what we're talking about, the voids. And
this is exactly, now the star people have been telling us for a while, our heart chakra opens and expands love to the front. And in the back of the heart chakra, it pulls darkness and density. So any of our fears, it actually feels like this. And like it, that's how it feels when you imprint yourself with a fear. You can feel this. It's just a lot of times when we're in that fear frequency, we don't consciously pay attention. You have to know. I know what it feels like. So, but what it's doing is it is imprinting, which is connected to a void, which pulls the energy out of your system. That void then sends that type of energy up into a black hole, for an example, and then the black hole is actually sending gamma radiation back down at us. This process usually happens when we generate a safe spot throughout the day. It does not connect in instantaneously. It is more all of your thoughts, patternings, and all of the knowledge of the simulation is directly connected with the higher self. But the imprints from the rear of the chakra, it gets a safe spot. But when you actually imprint the rear void, then it makes a mark, and that mark goes in your energetic field and it goes up to the black hole. It all happens instantaneously. So it's very much like the second that it's imprinted, wham. But it's like a safe spot during certain sidereal times. It's stronger, is what the star people wish to call it.
okay,
Yes.
sidereal times.
Yes. It's when all the planets are in alignment. It happens once a day.
Oh, okay, okay.
You may
And
also notice that you are more psychic during that time frame. So during different meditations, it is always advisable to do it when you are currently in a sidereal time. When all of the planets are in this particular alignment, it shall then allow you to tune in to your ancestor realm as well as the astral realms, and further communication with different star planets are only accessible through sidereal times.
so essentially these eclipses, they're another form of sidereal time, right? Well, sidereal time is all the planets,
It's all
right?
the planets. Yes.
But these are lined up, the moon and the.
Yes.
So
Well,
should we be
because
manifesting?
we know that the moon affects the water. The water is your emotions. That is on the left-hand side. That's your feminine energetic systems. But we know the sun affects the way that we think. That is your thought grids. They are electrical in its nature. That's your masculine energetic. When you put the two together as one, you're affecting your thoughts and your emotions. When you evolve the thoughts and emotions, it shall then allow for a higher perspective to be achieved.
Wonderful. Okay, I'm going to see if anyone has questions. If you have questions in the chat, put them in now because we've got 20 more minutes. So this would be perfect. I bet a lot of people have questions. So let me just see what people have said. Hi to everyone. Ed is here, your resident gnome.
Ed!
Yep. And Laura Fahey says that no one else around notices the difference in the sun, but she does. She notices the color of the sun.
That's okay. Your perception has to be open to it. So what that means is you have to be in alignment to receive certain information. This is another reason why we call my book an activator book, because sometimes, and even Jody, I believe you've experienced this, you can read a page and it goes right over your head and you're like, I have no idea what it said. And then all of a sudden you raise your frequency and then you have a second look at the page and you're like, I understand it all. That's because you were activated into that frequency level. So just by engaging in a higher frequency material, it allows for that information to come into your field, which makes a little energy imprint in your aura. Now, the more and more we start, even if you don't understand it, it will eventually allow you to raise your frequency to the proper brick of consciousness, which shall then allow for a full unpacking of such knowledge. Now, dear ones, this book is also encoded with different activations from the star people, so that you may just hold the book up to your heart or even witness the cover of the book, and it shall automatically download any and all knowledge into your field, allowing you to activate this knowledge into your lifespan. This is going to take a baby step process. However, all of the knowledge will be given to each of you simply by looking at the cover. Yes. Thank you, Star People.
Okay, so I have been researching and like loving looking things up. So sometimes I'll not only look at the cover and read this, but when I put it down, like books will come right in front of me. YouTube videos will be right in front of me. I'm like, oh my God, like they really are dropping in front of me. All I have to do is pay attention.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've had physically focused people who have no idea about spiritual knowledge. They just looked at the book, and then it was like they got pulled in and started reading, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
But even
they're
then,
like, oh, it looks weird, but they pick it up and open it.
all of the knowledge will be given to you in your timeline. You will manifest it and unpack it at your own rate, but the knowledge will be given to you. This is a blessing for all of us. You just have to see the photo of it. You don't even have to get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's perfect.
Yes.
Okay. So somebody says, I sometimes see two suns, not sure why. I have seen that quite a bit lately. What is up with that? I've seen those comments. I haven't seen two suns, but
there's many different things in our simulation that we are unaware of. Now, once again, those are very physically focused topics, and depending on your level of perception as well as your manifestation, we have something called the Mandela effect. So the Mandela effect shows us how two people, we could be co-creating right now in this moment, but we can have two totally different memories. So in some people's memories, they're going to remember an artificial sun. In other people's memories, they're going to remember another planet that we weren't able to see, but it was similar to a sun in certain alignments. In other people's memories, they're going to have a third planet, which is made of like a dark matter. Not really dark matter, but they're saying it's a different frequency, but it's there.
Okay.
And then there's so many other planets there that we are just unaware of because it's not visible to our eyes. But that doesn't mean it's not there. Everything, the point is that matter is physical. Matter is fluid. It is not physical. And so, and that's everything. That's your body. Your body is always dying cells and then new cells being born. All matter can be changed. So when even the pyramids, and this was wild to really like grasp this concept, but the pyramids itself, they're here. We see them, so we believe in them because we know that they're here because a lot of us have been there or we've seen a photo of it. And so we know it to be true. But the second that you raise your consciousness to such a degree, it's going to allow access to change the pyramidal structure in itself, which then in turn is going to allow some of you to move the mountains, as you would say.
Wow, wonderful. So Freya would like to know. Oh, hi, Freya.
Hi, Freya.
You met Freya. How do we release an attachment that is still around even after an attachment clearing and personally telling it to get off and go home so many times?
Okay. That means that you have to close a star field. So once again, you triggered that emotion probably when you were very young, or it could have even come from a past life, dear ones. Some of you are encoded with ancestral karma, which does not allow you to close your star field unless you go into the original imprint of your ancestral karma. This can be done during a meditation or a past life regression even, and it shall allow you to see the original imprint. that imprint must be neutralized. Otherwise, you are discharging your attachment and the door remains open, which allows that attachment to come back.
Okay, so the door remains open. That was an answer. Thank you so much. So someone else said, April Storm Paper Studio. What do you do when you're a complete wreck from life? I have the book and I am reading it. Should I do anything else? Oh, that's a big one.
It's baby steps. And
One day at a time, baby.
I was in this in 2019, so I absolutely know the path. I had to change every single thing in my life, where I lived, all the stuff I had, which was today too. I just finished releasing stuff I was mine from what I called my old life. It was 2019. Sometimes we have to release all of the things that we had in that past life. It's like a fork in the road. And so you have to choose. Today I choose me. And I choose to release that version of me that was in that life where there was all that turbulence. And you have to go on the journey. The journey is never a one and done. I'm still healing. Jody's still healing. Each and every one of us, we get up each day and we do the work. So by doing that, baby steps, you have a look at things in your life, April. You make a list, pen to paper it. What are some things that you don't like? What are some cycle repeats that keep happening to you over and over? Chaos energy, that's an attachment name. Pick that one off. Now have a look at where the people, places, and things outside of you are making you feel less than. We're never less than, we're always whole. We are just manifesting each experience. Of course, when you're in the middle of it and hearing that, it's like, that's crazy. But when you actually take that and you apply it to your life and you say, I'm going to take baby steps. And when in 2019, my motto was just breathe, because I was having such an anxiety attack. My heart was going to give up.
Yeah, honestly. Yeah. And April, that's why we're here, is because we've been there. We're not just going to, have a perfect life and, portray like we've always been like it.
Yes.
This is a learning experience in the biggest way.
Yes.
So, yeah.
It's beautiful. Baby steps.
Baby steps. Yeah. One day at a time, for real. So Facebook user says, I heard today that power comes from looking at the eclipse. Oh, geez. I thought it hurt eyes. And then they also say save point, ?
Save point is, just imagine when we imprint our field, our aura field, right? We're just speaking about this. We fire off a low frequency emotion and it makes a mark in the field. Well, that lower frequency or fear-based emotion, it also leaves the back of the heart chakra and it gets saved. That save spot is what generates a cycle repeats. So a cycle repeat, if any of you have seen someone who's in a very low state and they keep having the same experience over and over and over again, that's because they're running an experiential save spot. They have to go in and clear the emotions first, throw the attachments off, neutralize the emotions, but then you have to also love and bless yourself enough to do actions in the physical life to change things. And so otherwise the same thing will keep happening to you until you hold a higher frequency to it. Yeah.
Right.
It's okay.
Right.
If you do not change willingly, your higher self will allow you to go on and on before the higher self says, you've done this one enough. And then the higher self will make the change for you. That's usually a rock bottom. Whatever that looks like, it could look like anything the star people are saying.
It triggered a big one is what it means.
Yeah,
it triggered a big one, so keep triggering you.
It's a big one. It gets you to move. So.
Yeah, I think, why do I keep getting shown more and more past lives? So when people are being shown more past lives, I know that when I'm doing the past life regression, the higher self comes in and actually heals them.
Yes.
So if somebody is in simple meditation and they're shown the past lives, how would they do that without booking a session or something, or doing it with someone else?
Well, You can always, each and every one of you guys watching, you can call upon the star people and they will help guide you and walk you through things like this. Now, of course, the more and more you start talking to them, the more you will receive responses. It's always a baby step process because they do not want to cause fear. But they will guide you. Different memories they may show you, they may guide you through. Now, when you see a memory, what they have instructed me to do is take a pen to paper, sit down in the chair, ask the body, ask the mind, thank you for giving me a memory that wants to be healed. It doesn't matter if it comes in the form of a past life. It doesn't matter if you think you're imagining it. That's okay.
Oh, I was just going to ask that.
Yes. Yeah. It's okay if you imagine it, because if you imagine it, that means that you're being shown that memory, whatever it is, because there's emotions in there. So ask yourself, how does this thought make me feel? Write down all the emotions: sadness, grief, depression, loss, anything. Write it all down. Or the emotion could be pain. And then one at a time for each of the attachment names, get off and go home. So you discharge them. And then you have to neutralize all the emotions. I am okay having the experience of sadness. I am okay having the experience of pain. While you're doing that neutralizing, try and open your heart and send yourself love. And then when you close out the session, we rub our hands, we clap 3 times because it activates our chi energetic systems. And then we love and I love and bless
our
body.
Bodies.
Yes. The more you go over your body, you love it, you're blessing it, you're assisting in closing the star field doors. Yeah. It's beautiful.
Wonderful. So Teresa Levine says, wow, this is hitting home. Do we just say, hi, star people?
Yes, that's all you say. They'll know that you're about to make contact and communication with us before you even ask. That's okay too, dear ones. We wish for each of you to start the process of allowing two-way telepathic communication. At first, you may feel an emotion code. We wish for each of you who wish to say, yes, thank you, star people, for giving me an emotion code. And just sit quietly for a brief moment and see what emotion resonates over your entire body. And now you know that we are in two-way communication with each of you. Beautiful, dear ones.
Okay, this is hilarious. So when you were doing this and saying, I love and bless my body. Yeah, thank you, Teresa. Yes, she is all over this place. Elle and Teresa are doing it. It reminded me of lots of people in the past life regressions they don't know it. Their higher self comes in and uses their hands to heal them. And so that way, when we get them on video, they'll be like, what was I doing with my hands? And I was going to mention that. And now there's a question. It says, lately, when I've been meditating, my hands will start moving like I'm moving energy, but I have never done this before. And this totally happened to me too. So I can speak about this as well. Do you know what I'm doing when this happens? Mm-hmm. It's called, I was told it's called kriases, and I'm moving energy pretty much, but I'd love to hear a better
explanation. The star people said that she has a light language ability, and that is why her hands are starting to move. It is because your guides are doing a fine tuning on your energetic grids, which is allowing for a process of light language to come, dear one. Light language is the star people or other races shall be giving you an emotion code. Each emotion code may change the body's movement. It may make you smile. It may change how your positioning is located. You may even notice a form of heat completely wash over your body. And this is because we are casting emotion codes. During your meditation, you may start to notice speaking of tongues. That is also normal for you, dear ones. Beautiful.
Wow. So is it always light language?
No, just for her. They're saying.
I just wanted to clarify that.
Just for
Okay.
her.
How fun is that? So did this person, I can't tell the name or gender, but did this person ask for this, or is this a gift?
It's a gift, but she asked for it before she came here. Her star family is fully
Wonderful.
watching and supporting her during this shift. They know who she
Awesome.
is, and they know and recognize that when the time is right, she will be taking this form of light linguistics, and she will be encoding many, many different locations, as well as broadcasting into the human consciousness grid. This ability that she is holding is also going to allow for a higher frequency to radiate around her body naturally. Each of you are able to be light linguistic specialists. You just have to tell the star people that you wish to engage in this manner and do the work to activate the ability. We will grant each of you access into it. Thank you, Teresa.
So it's me, Jamie. They say, if you know a Jamie. Hi, Jamie.
Oh, Jamie. Hi, Jamie.
Yes. Okay. So what are the benefits of light language? I know I was thinking about doing light language or crystal bowl healing. I do the crystal bowl healing now, but what are the benefits?
Well, light language is a frequency. Now we know every single one of our manifestations, it must come from an emotion code. Each emotion code is what allows access into that timeline. That timeline is going to look like a parallel reality in which you must summon the emotion code to make a vibrational alignment shift. Now that shift is going to allow for an instantaneous manifestation. So when each individual is accessing a form of light linguistics, it is then allowing them access into higher frequency emotion codes. Each emotion code that we gift humanity may heal different plants. Each emotion code may heal the channeler's biological form. Each emotion code may assist in reprogramming their energetic grid structure to allow for different manifestations into their lives. The channeler here has also experienced this once. She is very shy. I don't tell people that. I thought it was crazy. It was years ago.
Yeah, honestly, I was like, this is a little bit too weird. Honestly, it was a little too weird for me. It didn't feel right, and so I was like, the bowls. Like, I can get behind the bowls if I need to do.
No,
something
it's
like
a
that.
real thing. It is a real thing.
Yeah,
I know it's a real thing because now I understand fully how the channeling works, and they have gifted me this form of communication with emotion codes, and it's just such a blessing. It's such a blessing. But the second that we recognize, now what happens, we do this naturally as human beings as well, because what happens when you have love for somebody, when they walk in the room and you see them, your heart jumps for joy, you get all excited, they feel that warmth that's coming radiating from your heart. Yes?
Yeah.
So that means that we can send emotion codes as well. They're just sending very specific emotion codes that assists us in either healing other people, blessing, different items in the world.
Yeah. I think there are several comments here about lots of people are starting to move their hands. And, I remember when I was moving my hands, I thought nobody else was in the room. And I was just like, okay, all right, I'll just do it. And somebody came in, I'm like, hi,
You did a stretch.
They knew that I was doing what I do. And there was no going back. But looking back on that, I didn't realize how powerful that was. Like, I was doing the DNA thing at first. And so I feel like when so many people are in the comments and they're saying, I'm starting to move my hands, I'm starting to do light language. Like, if I had known how powerful it was, then what I would have done with it.
No, we can't do shoulda, coulda, woulda. That's an attachment. Don't clear them on the camera. You clear them off.
Oh,
shoulda, coulda,
no.
woulda.
What I'm saying is, Okay. No, what I'm saying is these people right now that are saying that they're doing this know how powerful. I want them to know how powerful it is. When I was just experimenting and going, what is this? I didn't have a Danielle to ask yet. Right. And I was learning through. These guys know how powerful that is.
You can take
I hope
light
I explained.
language and you could broadcast it on a video, just like we're doing here. And you can allow for multiple people to absorb those emotion codes, because it's the same thing like my book. You feel all the emotions, all it's knowledge, it's light, and it gets transferred from person to person. We call this light ions, scientifically speaking, but the emotion codes has magnetism to it as well. The more and more, and there's a reason why the star people have told you guys, every single one of you who wants to do light language, talk to them. They will do it with you. I've never heard them say that before on a live stream before, but there had to be a reason. So of course there's like a ton of you already doing it, right? So start doing it, and don't be shy, because if you have a gift and you're too shy and you don't want to step into it, then you'll never achieve the gift. I was shy with my light language. It happened once. I was like, that's crazy. And so I put it down. But now that I know what I know it's not crazy. And I would pick it up again in a heartbeat. We look at the shamans, people who stand around like a fire pit, and they drum the drums, and they make these sounds with their mouths, and they dance and they zone out and they get into that zone of focus. And what are they doing? They're activating higher degrees of consciousness. You're able to touch the astral realms or your ancestral realms by doing that. Each person is able to have their own experience. I wouldn't necessarily call it psychedelically, but yeah, it's kind of psychedelically without using anything. You're just activating the higher brain centers, which allows you to gain access to more knowledge. Yes.
Yeah. I love this. So many things. So Sash says, I've been doing this for a year. Thank you for this confirmation about hands and movement. I've been moving my hands sometimes and have wanted to try that for a while, but kind of shy. Yeah. I mean, once I got a name for it, like, okay, these are kriyasas, mudras, this is what people do. It felt like, okay, all right. And then you start to realize like, oh, when I move my hands this way, I'm doing this, or they're trying to tell me this. And so the more we do it, the more we learn, as you're always telling us.
Yes. You must engage. You must become the seeker.
Engage. Yes.
Yes. Whoever becomes the seeker is given the knowledge. And each and every one of us, we are the seeker, because we're here tonight seeking this knowledge. I had to start my path being the seeker as well. I had to want it. I had to do the research and figure out, what is the physical reality? What is it made of? All the early scientific, like sacred geometry, quantum physics, like the early stuff, I had to study all of that for a brief moment in my life, but it gave me, it's like the fundamentals. And then once I reached a certain, the foundation. And then once I reach a certain level, the star people were like, we're going to teach you from here on out. And that's what happened. It's beautiful. Thank you, star people.
Yeah, this was a beautiful session. And thank you to you and Teresa for the last video last Thursday. That was pretty powerful.
It was
really cool. If anybody hasn't watched that, it's a short one, but very powerful. Yeah.
It's amazing. So we will be hosting the Shadow Work Zoom. As always, it is 100% free to come and join. I do it on Zoom, so you have to send an email to daniellelipton.com. I will send you the link. The link is good for all of the Shadow Work Zooms. We usually do our live streams Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7 to 8. And then the Shadow Work is at 8:30 to 9:30. And so I hope to see each and every one of you guys there. Yes. Thank you so much, Jody, for coming. It's a blessing.
Thank you so much. I love doing this with you. I'm honored to be here to be able to ask the questions. And thank you for the star people coming today. Thank you, Jessica, for being here, and everybody else. Ed, Jamie, it was just wonderful.
Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, star people, so incredibly much for performing different activations on each individual watching. We are always here to communicate with each of you directly. Each one of you are star seeds. Each one of you may access your star families. You must access your star family on your own. However, they are watching and they are all assisting you from this moment forward, especially throughout your evolution, so that you may never feel alone again. Just call upon us. And we are sending each of you many, many love and blessings, dear ones. Beautiful. Yes. Thank you, Star.
That really is beautiful. Thank you so much, Elle, for all the time and energy and everything that you put in for all of us here, honestly.
Thank you guys for coming. And I love and bless each and every one of you. Today's a release day, so we spent the whole day cleaning. And I don't know why. I'm like, it's important. You have to know, the more stuff you can get rid of today, get rid of it today. Trust me. Okay. Just do it. Because we go through these different alignments, and it's like, well, today we're meant to release stuff, and it allows for our energy field to release and then receive new light. New light can be new stuff. Sometimes like new foods would come in for me. So like I started eating tomatoes, right? It's new information. Can be food. It could be items. It could be people, places, locations, right? Do energetic cord clearings tonight if you can. So
good. Okay.
Cord, we just do it together right now, and it'll work even if you're on the replay. Just take a deep breath in and release. Now, each of you say, I now cut any energetic cords between me and all people, places, and things. And now just know it is done. And thank you, dear star people, for assisting us in this energetic clearing and cord cutting and transmission for tonight. And we love and bless you, star people, and we love and bless each and every one of us here. Yes. All right. Excellent. You guys have a wonderful night. Thank you so incredibly much, my dear Jody Powers.
You're welcome.
Have a great night. I love you.
I love you.
Hey. Let's see. I think I gotta hit the other ones first. It's Instagram. Okay.